How's it going, everyone? It's Psihogios from Spartan Fantasy Football, and I'm going over my latest blog over on the website, my Dynasty Fantasy Football running back rankings. Going to be talking about some key players from the list. For the full list, head on over to Spartan Fantasy Football to check it out. But let's not waste any more time. Let's dig into those rankings. The first thing you'll notice when you check my rankings out over at SpartanFantasyFootball.com is the impact of the 2020 NFL draft class. 4 players in my top 12 and 5 in my top 13 are from the class. Cam Akers is ranked number 4, Jonathan Taylor is ranked number 3, DandreSwift number 7, Antonio Gibson number 12, and J.K. Dobbins number 13. That was an unbelievable draft class. I think we're going to be talking about in fantasy football for years to come. So much talent, it's so deep, and when you look at the players, guys at the top like Jonathan Taylor and Cam Akers, those are guys that are going to make an impact now and for the foreseeable future. And not to mention the upside, the pass catching upside of guys like Antonio Gibson and DandreSwift. They're really intriguing assets in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Dobbins I have 13 behind Gibson in PPR just because I think there's a little less pass catching upside in Baltimore's offense, but still, he's going to be an effective runner and someone who you're going to want to have on your Dynasty team. Next, let's talk rookies. I've got 3 inside my top 20, and the one coming in first is DandreSwift Harris at number 11. This is a dynamic running back. He can catch the ball. He's a bruising type of back. The landing spot in Pittsburgh has kind of gotten worse as the offseason has gone on. David DeCastro now being released by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So maybe some questions about the offensive line, but long term, I really do like Harris's prospects and his landing spot. I'm sticking with Harris as the top from this class. At number 16, I've got Travis Etienne. You know, a lot has been made about how is it going to be split between him and James Robinson. I think you're going to see Etienne take over in the fantasy-friendly opportunities. I mean, on passing downs, this guy is a polished receiver out of the backfield, and I think you'll see him work in the goal line scenarios as well. You can't forget, this is someone who has spent a lot of time in the backfield with Trevor Lawrence. So the familiarity between those two players, I think, is going to get Etienne on the field quite a bit. At number 17, Javonte Williams. This is someone who might rise to the top from this class sooner rather than later. I like the landing spot in Denver. Again, a bruising running back capable of catching passes. Melvin Gordon's going to be there for year 1, but the Broncos can move on from him after this season, and I fully expect them to do so. And when that happens, Javonte Williams being a 3-down running back is a tantalizing idea for fantasy football. Now I'm going to talk about some fallers in my Dynasty rankings, some players that have taken a hit to their fantasy value this offseason, and the first one is Josh Jacobs, who comes in at number 20. I really don't like the addition of Kenyon Drake because he's really going to limit Jacobs' pass-catching upside, and not only that, I could see Drake taking over on the field in prime opportunities like the red zone. Drake has been an effective player in his NFL career. The Raiders have really talked him up since he joined the team. I think he's going to see the field maybe a little more than anyone's letting on right now, so I'm a little concerned about Josh Jacobs. Another player I'm concerned about is Miles Sanders. He's never proven in the NFL that he can be a healthy 3-down workhorse back. Injuries have gotten in the way, and also at times, underwhelming performances. The team also added Kerryon Johnson and Kenneth Gainwell this offseason, a sign that they might be looking for more of a rotation. You can't forget head coach Nick Sirianni, who was the offensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts last year, liked to rotate the backs pretty frequently with Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor, and Marlon Mack. For the short period Marlon Mack was healthy, mixing in on offense, so I wouldn't be shocked to see more of a rotation and less of a 3-down workhorse in Miles Sanders. Lastly, I'm going to talk about my Get Me Hyped guys. These are players I'm higher on than most in Dynasty Fantasy Football. I'm going to start off by talking about Zach Moss from the Buffalo Bills. This is someone who's got 3-down back size, and if he shows well and outperforms Devin Singletary in training camp, he could be a 3-down back in a very good Bills offense. I understand there's still a couple of knocks against him, one of them being that Josh Allen likes to rush them in for touchdowns as well, and another one being that this is a very pass-heavy offense, but Moss showed me enough as a pass catcher last year, and as a runner that he can handle both workloads. So Moss is someone who I'm a little higher on than most in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Another player I'm higher on than most, coming in at number 27, one spot behind Moss, is Tony Pollard. When Ezekiel Elliott went down with an injury last year, Pollard showed he could be a 3-down back. And I think the Cowboys got to start game planning Pollard into their weekly game plans, because he showed that he's an effective runner and someone who's an asset to this offense. And this is going to be a high-flying Dallas Cowboys offense. So get Tony Pollard some carries, get him some receptions, get him out in open space, because I think there's a lot of talent and a lot of explosiveness to Pollard's game. He also has 3-down back size. So Pollard is another one of these players that I'm a little higher on in Dynasty. Lastly, I'm going to talk about number 28 in my rankings. That's Damien Harris from the New England Patriots. I like Damien Harris because I don't think that the competition in New England is all that great. And if it weren't for Bill Belichick's horrid history with running backs in fantasy football, I feel like Harris would be a lot higher up many people's rankings. So I'm not going to wade too much into that history. I know some people are scared. I'm not going to do it because I think there could be an edge to be had in trusting the talent in Harris. This is someone who averaged 5 yards per carry last year. I think he can be an every down back and an RB2 in fantasy football. So sign me up for Damien Harris.